I understand you started as a corporate lawyer,
Yeah.
and then what brought you to aviation?
When the Indigo opportunity came knocking, I enthusiastically took it, and it's been no looking back.
You spent a couple of years at Indigo, and then
Yeah.
you moved to SpiceJet.
My time at SpiceJet was very interesting in terms of I ended up doing a lot more other than what I was doing at Indigo. Business also, there's so much happening that you have to keep pace with it.
Yes.
Otherwise, you'll be left behind.
That's true.
And you need to be agile. 15% of the cockpit crew at Air India has been women, which is great strides that airlines have made in terms of moving towards gender diversity.
So what message would you like to give to young girls and young lawyers looking to explore this non-traditional field?
You just block out the external noise and work on what you have to do. Things work out.
You know legal, you know commercial.
Right.
Now I understand you're coming up with a book. So I would like to know more about it.
I think the cat is out of the bag.
Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Legit Talk with Lovejeet. Today's episode features an inspiring woman who's redefining the skies. Yes, you heard it right. Our guest, Shinjni, is a true changemaker in the Indian aviation sector. Honored with the prestigious Air India Changemaker Award, she played a pivotal role in the successful execution of several high-impact projects spanning digital transformation, flight operations, engineering, commercial strategy, flight safety, and aircraft leasing at Air India. A very dynamic legal professional, she has worked with India's top airlines, contributing her expertise across the entire Indian aviation ecosystem. She was an integral part of historic Air India-Vistara merger, which was recognized as ISHKA's best M&A deal of the year 2024, which was a landmark moment in the Indian aviation history. In 2023, she was selected as an ISTAT scholar, and she went on to complete the prestigious aircraft leasing and trading program by Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. She was the only lawyer in that cohort, showcasing her determination to break boundaries. Beyond her professional achievements, she's deeply passionate about writing and public speaking. She's also currently authoring a book on the Indian aviation law. I would like to welcome Shinjni at Legit Talk with Lovejeet. So hi Shinjni, welcome to Legit Talk with Lovejeet. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here. I think we are interacting for the first time, and thank you for having me.
So before I go into my questions, I'm really curious to know what is the meaning of Shinjni, because honestly, I haven't heard this name. It's a very unique name, and I would say it's a very lovely name.
Oh, thank you so much.
So would like to know what is the meaning of that.
I think my first school Viva question used to also be this, because all my teachers were like, we've never heard this name at all.
Yeah.
It means joy of life.
Oh, that's nice.
Which in legal profession doesn't fit quite well. It is what it is.
So in the legal profession, I think we have a different kind of joy, to which everyone probably cannot connect.
That's true.
Okay, so you said legal profession.
Yes.
So let's talk about your journey.
Yeah.
I understand you started as a corporate lawyer, and then what brought you to aviation?
Okay.
So, of course, what brought you to law first, and then we can go to corporate lawyer and then aviation.
I think it's been a very storied journey so far. I think in high school, I was very much into journalism and writing.
Okay.
So as parents, they are always like, oh, you love to write. So I think it's a natural progression. You should consider law. And frankly speaking, parents are never wrong. And it's turned out to be a good career choice.
Okay.
And I started off with a law firm as a general corporate lawyer. So interestingly, at the law firm, we used to work with a lot of US clients. And Lovejeet, I think it was a very good foundation for me, because I used to do real estate one day, then employment, general corporate matters. We even did a successful arbitration for a French client.
Okay.
So it was my first time doing an arbitration, and thanks to the senior partner and the principal associate I was working with, we managed to get a very favorable order.
Oh, that's nice.
So that was a good sort of foundation for me, and I built on it by doing an LLM at NYU.
Okay.
Frankly speaking, US LLM is just a 9-month course. And you know how 9 months just fly by. When you
I know,
they
I
say
know.
when you have fun, the time really flies.
Yeah.
I made sure that I don't have the actual fun in the literal sense, but I made sure that, those 9 months, I pack it well with good courses and conferences, being a part of the NYU Journal. I even took a course at NYU Stern with a bunch of investment bankers. My entire class comprised of, business professionals and investment bankers.
Okay.
So it was a very good learning experience to, out of 400 students, if you get a part to be of such a niche course. And I actually coupled it up with some interesting courses like law startups, which really got me into like what in-house culture is. And we had GCs of different startups teaching us.
Okay.
So I've had a good sort of flavor of what in-house culture and in-house work is at NYU. And when I joined TransferWise, now it's called Wise, it's a famous fintech in Estonia, and they were setting up their operations in New York. So being a part of a company ground up and seeing them set it up was a different experience in itself. And I moved back to India for personal reasons, and I joined Shardul Amachand Mangaldas.
So you did your master's immediately after law, or you
after working at the law firm that I mentioned?
After working at the law firm, okay.
Yes.
And then you went for the master's.
Yeah, I highly recommend that you should first, have some professional experience before you transition into sort of an education course like a postgrad.
I did it otherwise.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went for a master's straight away.
Oh, perfect.
And my reason was that once I'm out of the law school and the studies touch, probably I may not be able to go back to uni again.
Classmates do that. One of them, she actually went to Harvard right after graduation.
And I understand that 9 months Spain, so I did my master's from UK. It was a sunny years course, 9 months effectively, because after that it was dissertation. So I think it's a similar things we have done.
I took a lot on my plate, and I don't share this enough, very comfortably, but I used to have this little, diary, that campus diary, where I used to note down and time block for every, not only courses and the events that I was taking part in, and my writing courses that I was taking part in. There was so much I had taken on.
And I'm sure you might still have the diary with you, right?
Yes. And there was this culture in New York to network, and we were taught at NYU, because we've never done this in Indian law schools before. So there was this hesitation of, how to go about networking. So it was a good experience. I think as a lawyer, I highly recommend moving out of your comfort zone.
I think as a lawyer, now networking is something which we can't survive without.
It's a given.
Right?
Fact.
It's a given fact.
Yeah.
So, moving to then you came back to India.
Yes.
You joined
Shardul
Amachand.
Yes.
And then you started aviation from there, or you were doing corporate there?
Good question. So I actually did an airport deal when I was at SAM.
Okay.
And I think that was when I got into the world of aviation.
Okay.
And when the Indigo opportunity came knocking, I enthusiastically took it. And it's been no looking back.
Yeah.
Actually, Peter Elbers, the Indigo CEO, said it at IIT AGM that, aviation is like Hotel California song. Once you check in, you never check out. So I'm like, how true is that? I think I have been so loyal to aviation, and every time there is an opportunity outside it, my answer is a flat no, because I just really enjoy being a part of this, I think, community, as well as the work that we are doing is so fulfilling that you don't feel like moving out of it.
Well, in fact, I was never able to connect it to, Hotel California song. Probably I would listen to that song today again.
Yeah, you must.
Yeah. Because
when you said it, I was like, how true is that?
Okay, so then from Shardul you moved to, from SAM you moved to Indigo.
And I've been in airlines since then.
Okay. And then when you went to Indigo, so the two famous promoters and founders, I'm assuming they were there at that point of time, and
So I joined at a very interesting time when we were moving from 100 aircraft strong to 200 aircraft strong.
Okay.
And, the team was being built and was expanding.
Okay.
So it was good to see how the growth trajectory started of Indigo. It was already on a growth mode, but sometimes you just have to go on a slightly higher speed. Full throttle mode, that was the full throttle mode.
So you were there when it was a full throttle mode.
Yes.
So you were actually flying. Okay, so after Indigo, so
Yes.
I understand that you spent a couple of years at Indigo, and then
Right.
you moved to
SpiceJet.
SpiceJet. Okay.
Yes. I think my time at SpiceJet was very interesting in terms of I ended up doing a lot more other than what I was doing at Indigo.
Okay.
They were actually doing a lot of wet leasing, and cargo was becoming a big thing at SpiceJet. So to get that exposure, it was good. And once I completed my stint at SpiceJet, I actually moved to Air India.
Oh, wow.
In 2022.
So you have worked with all the major Indian airlines so
Yes.
far.
So interestingly, I was the first hire after the general counsel in the transactions team. And I
Okay.
had worked with
In
him.
Air India.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had worked with him before. So it was a complete, like a yes to sort of take up that role. Yeah.
So I believe you moved to Air India when Air India was also at a full throttle mode.
Yeah. I think all my jobs have been that way.
So you have always been at a fast pace, I would
I think
say.
I've enjoyed it. Now I think if I enter into any sort of, people yearn for stability, slowness. I think I've just enjoyed challenges in this industry so much that every day is a new day.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of my GCs, I think in one of my interviews, he said, Shinjni, aviation is like, as lawyers, we are firefighters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's so true. Like
Yeah.
we're fighting fires every single day.
Correct.
And every day is a new day. I would start with a to-do list every morning, and I'm very strategic about it. Okay, these are the key, matters that I'll work on. The list would change by the evening. It would be something else altogether.
I guess aviation industry is still the same.
Yeah.
Because like we both are on that side of aviation.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
you are, I would say, more in the say internal side, because you're dealing with day-to-day operations,
Yeah.
and we as an external counsels,
Yeah.
we are dealing with some pieces of
Varied
that.
clients.
Yeah. But that's true. I mean, it's evolving every day. Every other day we have new rules coming in, and then we are
and
struggling
in
with
terms of
that.
as a business also, there's so much happening
Yes,
that
yes.
you have to keep pace with it.
Yes,
Otherwise, you'll be left behind.
that's true.
And you need to be agile. I think even during COVID, Indigo did the whole Vande Bharat charters. I
Yeah.
was a part of that. Overnight we had to learn what chartering system is. How do
Yeah.
you do passenger charter business? And the sales team and the commercial team supported me so much. Even, my boss, everyone, we all got together and learned and successfully completed, more than 100 charters. And it was just a great experience. Like every night I used to be on calls with our business team saying, okay, this is done. So I think there's a lot of satisfaction that I get once my transactions are over.
Yeah.
I still remember one of the, this CEOs telling me that you're just so happy when the transaction is done. I'm like, there's a lot of hard work that's gone
true.
in,
That's
and
true.
there's a lot of interface that we do with internal stakeholders
Yeah.
that it means a lot to me.
I understand the sentiment. I completely
It just
understand.
feels
Yes.
like I feel like as if I've just like accomplished a lot
Yeah.
in that one transaction. I feel
Yeah.
like that.
So even for us, the day the transaction is signed, any kind of transaction, whether
It's like
an
a
aviation-
closing. Once you're done with the closing, you're like.
So it's like a party time, It's
For
a
us,
big
it's not a
achievement.
party time. It's like the next transaction, right moment.
Listen, you have a day's break before you move to the next
No,
transaction.
so that was in law firms for us. Like in SAM, we used to like enjoy.
Okay.
Here, it's just like some other team will be giving me a call. Okay, Shinjni, what about this one now?
Okay, so Shinjni, we are talking about this,
Yeah.
legal side of aviation.
Right.
Can you please break it down? Because
Yeah.
I want to break it down for, say, young professionals, for
Right.
youngsters entering into the space.
Right.
Because aviation, although it's a very small word, like a law, and it has
Yes.
entire
Yes.
gamut in
Universe.
it.
Yeah.
It's an entire universe in it.
Yes.
So what all in the aviation space from the legal side, what all it
Right.
entails? I mean, broadly.
Yeah. Good question, because a lot of law students ask me this.
Yeah.
And everyone wants to know, okay, what is this about? I can give you an airline perspective because I've been predominantly in airlines.
I think that's the most important part.
Yeah, one of the key cogs.
Yeah.
So basically, our legal team is set out into diverse work verticals. We have the litigation team, which handles predominantly consumer litigation.
Yeah.
It's one of the aspects. Then you have the transactions team, which works with different project stakeholders like flight safety, flight operations, commercial, digital and transformation teams. And you have the aircraft leasing and financing vertical, which
That's
you
a
are well
different
aware
volume
of,
altogether.
as well as banking and finance,
Yeah.
which feeds into
Yeah.
aircraft leasing and financing. Then you have a separate vertical called the regulatory vertical, which liaises with DGCA, airports, all the government entities possibly that interface with airlines.
Yeah.
Then you have the HR and employment, which is also a key part because they have to handle cabin crew hiring,
Yes.
any termination, suspension issues, pilot hirings, as well as corporate, hirings and other sort of employment labor law issues that come up. Then you have, as you know, all airlines are pushing for cargo in a very interesting way. You have a different, legal
Vertical
team
for that,
vertical for that.
I think, and now the additional thing which is really picking up in every industry, irrespective of that, it's data privacy.
Yes, so we do have a DPO.
And you do collect a lot of data because, of course, passengers are flying. You have each passenger's so-called personal data because that's where the sensitivity arises.
Yes. So legal teams are involved in data protection. So that's a good one.
So much to do then.
Yes.
In just one word of aviation.
And interestingly, throughout my career in all three airlines, I've worked, except litigation, I've worked with every facet of the legal team. So that 360-degree view of airline sector, I've been lucky and fortunate to get that. So that's something I always cherish, that, okay, I got to learn every aspect of the business. And it helps you, I think, in one way or the other. When you learn something new, it does compound and it helps you when you do a future transaction. You're able to understand the teams better, I think, and work better.
So I think for the law students, those who are willing to have their careers in aviation, so aviation is way beyond civil aviation requirements. There is much more to be seen.
There's more than car, and there's more than just seeing what you see in the news.
Yes.
It's a lot more fast-paced. It's a lot more diverse.
Yeah. So, okay, now I have another question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think aviation is still a male-dominated field?
Actually, not really. And, the two people I really look up to, one Indigo CEO, recently in the IATA AGM. IATA AGM was organized in India after 42 years, I believe. And he mentioned that, that 1 in 7 pilots is a female pilot, which is one of the largest number. And interestingly, 2 of the GCs at Indigo whom I've worked for have been female GCs. And they've been fantastic lawyers. And even at Air India, Campbell mentioned that 15% of the cockpit crew at Air India has been women, which is great strides that, airlines have made in terms of moving towards gender diversity. And interestingly, Campbell Wilson, who's the Air India CEO, was a great mentor to me when I was there. I think he was one kind of person who looked beyond designations, and he actually really mentored young professionals. And every time I used to interact with him, when I used to come back, I used to be like, damn it, I should have got 10 more minutes to speak to him. Because there's so much of the business side of aviation that I could learn from him. So in that sense, I never felt that, that underlying discrimination or lack of opportunity. I think both these institutions have helped me in a big way.
No, in fact, I completely agree with you. In fact, I wanted to hear from a woman like you that is the scenario has changed. Because if you ask me, the scenarios, of course, they have changed. If we see law firms, if I talk about our firm, we have wonderful women lawyers.
Yes, I'm aware of.
And if we see the majority, we have majority of women lawyers.
That's great.
Our Delhi office, Mumbai office, they are headed by women lawyers.
Oh, that's nice.
So there is no,
I think my bosses predominantly at law firms and even my mentors have been female lawyers. All of them have been incredible and doing so well that, when I see them achieving and breaking, glass ceilings, I'm just like, that's so inspiring. And there's so much I can learn from them. So that way I've never felt that. And I feel that if you are good at what you do, things do work.
That's more important. So in fact, even when I started my career with law firms, my managing partner and my midget partner, they were both wonderful, wonderful women, wonderful lawyers. But I thought that maybe, I think that we all have this now impression that of course, it's not just male dominated. It's not just aviation. Even in the legal, if we see, it's not just male dominated.
A lot can be done, obviously, but I think we are moving at the right.
We are moving at the right direction.
Yes, exactly.
So, of course, as you said, that I can see your passion about aviation.
Right.
You have done, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University's aircraft leasing and trading course.
Yes.
I'm curious to know more about specifically this trading part, because as a lawyer, you have done this trading thing. It's very fascinating to me as well.
I set the expectations quite straight in the course. Like on day one, I actually mentioned it to professor and everyone were just chuckling that I said, Professor, lawyers aren't. I was the only lawyer in that course. And it was filled with business professionals and aviation professionals. And I was like, lawyer, we actually don't use Excel that much. All I know is addition and subtraction for that matter.
We still struggle with that. Yeah. I still struggle with the Excel sheets.
But believe it or not, I've started using Excel a lot more. To the pleasant surprise of my commercial teams in airlines, I make issue list in the Excel.
In the Excel sheet.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So you're an exceptional lawyer now.
One of them actually said, "Are you trying to take my job?"
So you've excelled with Excel now, I would say.
So it was a very good course because it was at the business side of aviation. But we had something called, we were broken into different jurisdictions because of the time zones. So I was a part of the Asia team.
Okay.
So one member was a part of an OEM. He was a student who was an OEM company representative. There was somebody from an lessor. So the kind of diverse perspectives they gave me, even how to do modeling and do calculations and everything, I learned so much from them. I feel that you can collaborate and work, and if there is support, I think anything can be done. So that way, it was a very good course for the commercial side of aviation. So
you deliberately, I'm assuming you have deliberately chosen this to learn more, but more about the commercial side. And it's good to know that, as you said, that you was only lawyer. And
the added pressure I had, I was chosen as a scholar, and one of the scholar conditions was to maintain a certain level of academic score. Okay. So you can imagine, I'm dealing with the unknown territory as well as an added pressure. But it was good. I think I put in a lot of hard work in it, and my professor and my team really sailed me through it. They were like, don't worry, slowly and steadily you will be, you will sail through. And I did sail through.
So I would say that now more than, just not just legal, more commercial side of the aviation.
I think it's very
especially
good.
The numbers.
Numbers, plus when you deal with commercial team, they use a lot of their leasing jargon. I think you can relate more and you can understand their perspective better. Yeah. So now I'm not trying to say that before it was a lot less or now it's more. I just feel it's more comfortable to deal with business teams. You're able to understand their perspective. Okay, where are they heading? So,
and I'm sure that business teams will now be, otherwise at times, I'll not say always, so no offense to business teams, but business teams at times, they see lawyers as a, sort of barrier at certain times.
But I always drill the point across, and I've done this throughout my career. I think it might sound a bit too straight, but I always say that we are all a part of one company.
That's true.
It doesn't matter that we are legal, business, or any other function.
And ultimately, you all are moving in one direction.
For me, I know what the goal of the project is. Let's deliver that. Yeah. And if I see any inconsistency in what they are trying to sort of achieve and what's written on paper, I will highlight it. Come what may. And I've done that at any level. And I always encourage everyone that don't be shy in speaking up because you're doing the right thing. Yeah. So. Yeah. That's always been the case.
So, Shinjni, when you are doing so much on the aviation side, legal, commercial. Right. Now, I understand you're coming up with a book.
Yes.
So, I would like to know more about. Just give us a sneak peek. Sure. I'm sure. I mean, we don't want the entire details because I want to really read it once the book is out. But just a sneak peek.
I think the cat is out of the bag. I think there's not much of literature on Indian aviation law generally, and I haven't seen much being written. And I did find a void in a particular area of Indian aviation law, and that's what I'm writing about. Okay. Unfortunately, the publishers have bound me by confidentiality.
Of course,
and I can't really delve deeper into it. But I feel that this book will cater a wide variety of audience, and it's my way of giving back to the community in terms of explaining what Indian aviation law is, because there is not much being written about it. Now I see a lot of journals coming up, like aviation journals in India, but it's just that it's good to sort of write something that and share my perspective of.
Which consolidates also, because otherwise, being lawyers, I mean, I'm sure you and me, we all have been doing so many articles on aviation. There's too much content
frankly,
there.
That's how I enjoy doing conferences and speaking at conferences and writing. In law firms, we used to do that so much, like write those legal updates and knowledge updates. I just felt that this is just an extension or a natural step. So.
And a consolidated version, it's like you will have too much information in just one book. You don't have to Google, 20 different things.
Easier than it is. It's a lot of hard work.
I know, I completely understand that.
I think writing a book is like a marathon, not a sprint. There are days when I'm not able to write anything, but there are days when I'm just able to be absolutely productive and focused on it.
But when can we expect your book?
We have a long drawn publishing process that I'm a part of. I think 2026 is when it will definitely be out, next year.
So next year?
Yes.
So early next year or?
Early next year. Fingers crossed.
Okay, so being a lawyer, you always have so much on your plate.
Right.
So how are you able to manage the time for writing a book? Because writing a book also it's a very time-consuming process. I'm sure you might be giving your weekends as well there.
That's exactly the answer. So on weekends, you'll see me locked up in my room or in a dusty old library in the city. I'll look at where some court library which is open and I will just be there.
Okay.
I think it requires a lot of discipline and focus to sort of, if you want to do something, you'll have to be focused for it.
Yeah.
And there have been times when I always prioritize my office work first. So
that's always the case for, I think, all of us.
All of us. I think, you have deadlines to meet.
Yeah.
So then I put this on the back burner and work. And as in when on weekends, when I find time, the small buckets of, the pockets of sort of time to focus, I just focus on this. It might mean that I have no personal life, but it is what it is.
I think now it's our lawyer's fate, I would say, because even I'm doing these podcasts and all over the weekend because it's not possible on the weekdays.
I think it's our hobby, right? And it's something that really motivates us, and it also helps you, feeds into your work as well.
Yes.
It's something you learn from and you use it, like writing a book, researching those skills. Keep me in good stead in my work.
Of course.
So, I don't think any of this is waste. I think to law students also, I tell them that have a hobby, do something that you enjoy, whatever it may be. It just gives you an added perspective and a fresh perspective also. Sometimes you're so much drawn into your work, you don't realize the bigger picture. So.
And I think, as lawyers, we need to accept this fact that at times you don't have personal life. I would not say always.
It is. I think no complaints there. I think as long as you're enjoying your work, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay, so...
I just hope my family doesn't watch this.
So what message would you like to give to young girls and young lawyers looking to explore this non-traditional field? Because I still believe that aviation, of course, we have lawyers, we have many people now, but still it's a slightly niche field. So what advice you have?
I think I'll draw it from the wisdom of people who have actually shared this with me. So one of my NYU professors said this to me, and she said, Shinjni, you always never accept status quo. What she meant by that is, and I used to always share my career trajectory with her. So there's this interesting incident in New York when I was studying. I used to go for these networking events and I met this senior law firm partner. It was around 2015-16. Okay, during that time, not much of job opportunities for Indians were there at that given moment because of the global tensions and how it was. She said, she was quite candid and she said, you need to pack your bags and go back. There isn't anything for Indians at the moment. I appreciated her honesty and I'm grateful that she said that point blank without, just making stories around it. But deep down I said, okay, I will give my best. Let's try. if you don't try, how will you even come to know?
Yeah.
If I don't succeed, it's okay, I'll go back.
At least you will not have regret that I haven't tried.
Exactly. Make
Yes.
an honest effort. It works.
Yes.
And my parents also say that to me always, that, be sincere in your work, do the hard work and leave it to the destiny. And things invariably work out. I think if you've put in that honesty and your sincerity is intact, things work out. And it did. I managed
agree with you.
to find a very good fintech role. And I think it doesn't matter. You just block out the external noise and focus and work on what you have to do. Things work out.
So do the hard work, throw it to the universe and leave it there.
The second one.
This is what I've learned.
The second one, I have actually, I remember very recently, one of my mentors, actually a few days ago, he said this to me. He said, one of your strong points is you preserve connections. What that means is that mentors have played a very strong role in my career. And I am grateful to them, to my bosses, to where I have reached and to what all I've learned so far, I feel all of them have helped me in some way or the other.
Yeah.
And I don't treat any of them, whether it's my boss or my mentors, in a transactional manner. I don't treat them as a job-creating machines.
Correct.
I think you need to be grateful of what they teach you.
Yes.
And you can learn a lot from their journeys also. They've had their own set of challenges. I think we can learn so much.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, treat mentors as, I need a job for this person. Or from a boss, I need something. I think there's a lot of learning.
Yes.
And when you find a good mentor, hold on to it. And I've had mentors who've been my law firm boss, during my internship time, imagine. It's been 13 years I've been in touch with her.
Yeah.
And she's still a strong part of my career. And she's still there to sort of nudge me, help me grow. So,
as we were discussing earlier also, it's all about relationships.
Exactly.
And
Law
lawyers,
is about that.
Yes. We lawyers, we believe in, having strong, irrespective of whether you're working with someone or not.
Right.
That's not important. That's not important. Right?
Most of my mentors are not from aviation, actually.
Yes.
One of them actually sent me a text day before yesterday just saying, are you doing okay? Just checking in on you. Just out of the blue. The connections matter. The fact that she thought of me, she had a packed day at work and she still took out time and messaged me to just see if I'm doing okay. I think these small things matter. And I think one should be grateful of having such people in your life. Because one way or the other, there's so much you can learn from them.
I think that's the biggest thing, and would be happy to have thoughts of our viewers also, and would be happy to have their comments in the Dropbox. That what do they feel? Because we both are on the same page. That your relationships, your contacts, your mentors, they definitely do matter, and you should always be in touch with them.
Even for that matter, your friends, your batchmates. I think there's a lot of respect. And there's a lot of, don't treat your batchmates as competitors or your friends as competitors. Stay in your lane. I always feel that. All of us have our work cut out in life. If you just stay in your lane and help each other, as simple as refer work to your friends, refer work to your batchmates. It doesn't hurt. I think.
So true. Okay, so since we're talking about aviation, I have a quick question for you. What's the most breathtaking flight you've ever taken?
There were two, but I think since you've asked one, so
No, you can share your experience of two as well. I mean, I'm okay with that.
This is the first one. I think was Air India A350. It was the first, my first A350 experience.
Okay.
Delhi to Bangalore. They deployed it domestically for a brief moment, and I took the Delhi to Bangalore. And since I'd worked on a part of the A350 transaction, so I had a lot of good memories to be a part. When I sat in the plane, I was just looking around like this child who's been put in a candy shop and very excited. So that's one. I've kept the boarding pass also with me. I think that's a memory I preserve and cherish. The second one, I think I recently took a flight post the merger, the Air India Vistara merger. It was a Vistara plane with Air India livery, the sticker.
Operated by Air India.
So every aspect of that deal, I remember very vividly. So I actually took a picture of the tail And I sent it to my parents. I said, look, this is my plane. And they were like, okay, great.
So
there's a lot of relatability.
Yes.
I think that's what aviation is all about.
Yeah.
What you do, it really translates into tangible results.
Yeah. So in fact, since you were mentioning this relatability part,
Yeah.
I can recall I met a person from. So I was going from Delhi to Bombay in Air India itself.
Okay.
It was Airbus flight 320,
Yeah.
and just next to me there was a person from Airbus,
Yeah.
and she was wearing her lanyard and her Airbus card. So
Yeah.
I was able to see, but otherwise it was definitely not required when you're flying. But since she has it connect, and there was no choice, I ended up chatting with her
Yeah.
during our entire journey. And since the aviation, both of us from the aviation background, we were non-stop chatting for the entire 2 hours.
Interestingly, when you're an airline professional, the amount of customer queries I get from people I don't know, I still handle. For my previous airlines, there are issues. Somebody missed a flight, somebody wants to change the flight. Okay, how do we go about it? We have this grievance. Sometimes I feel that I should just say legal plus customer experience, written next to my name, because your job is not at an airline stops at just being legal. There's so much exposure you get. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so since you're doing your books, I have another question for you.
Yes.
If you could interview one person for your book, who would be that person and why?
I think interesting question. I think I would interview Willie Walsh. He's the Director General of IATA. You would know about IATA. It represents close to 350 airline clients.
Yeah.
So I did get an opportunity to listen to him at an aviation event. I did pose him a question back then about Indian aviation. But he had a very interesting journey. He was a pilot and then transitioned into becoming a CEO of Aer Lingus and British Airways, and then moved to an international organization. So I think I would like to pick his brains.
Yeah, because he
know more about aviation from him.
Yeah.
Because he had such a diverse career.
Such a diverse career.
Yeah.
So when you said he's a pilot, you never felt that you want to fly aircrafts because you have been into aviation for a while now?
No, I'm good with my
Because I have that feeling, so that's why I'm asking you.
I'm good.
Honestly, I feel like taking a PPL, private flying license.
Okay.
And honestly, I've also spoken to 2-3 flying schools so far.
Right. Oh,
I'm just at a very early stage of, I would say, exploring that the time
I have,
required.
Height constraints. I don't think I can barely see outside. Okay, I'm good.
And I want to just fly a smaller aircraft, of course, not a commercial one.
Right.
Maybe a smaller 4-seater Diamond or something, just to get that experience.
I think whenever I go to the air shows, I love exploring the aircraft. And, at one air show, I think the engineering team was with me. They actually explained me every component, like the main ones, so well that it's an interesting experience to be in the cockpit, outside it.
Yeah.
You just relate to your work more.
Yes.
So I understand the feeling. I think now I understand why you will love to do it.
Okay, so if you want to sum up your career in one headline, what would that be?
I think a few years ago, a senior aviation lawyer said this to me. He shared that observation and it's etched in my mind. It's literally printed in my brain. He said, you're a kind of person who, punches above her weight. So I think that would be my career headline. I'm always learning, always leveling up, always punching above my weight.
Okay.
So
I would say from my view, it's like going extra mile.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes. I think that's how we can grow and learn in this profession. You have to be enthusiastic.
Yeah.
I think as long as you're enthusiastic about your work that you do, whatever you do, be enthusiastic about it. I think it takes you a long way.
Yeah. So thank you, Shinjni. Thank you for this conversation. And I seriously hope and believe that you will be, keep on flying and, doing new things and would be happy to, see
me taking off.
Yeah.
My career taking off, rather.
So, thank you very much for coming here and sharing your journey with us.
Thank you for the time, and thank you for being so accommodating.
You're welcome. And thank you to our viewers. Please feel free to leave your comments at the Dropbox below, or feel free to write us at Legit Talk with Lavjeet. Thank you.